Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. I've got one awesome interview for you guys coming up right now. This guy is from Madlife. He is the guitarist and one of the founding members of this band. His name is Isaiah from Madlife. How you doing, Isaiah?
What up, brother? Man, giving you a holler. Just hanging out in this awesome Southern California weather today. Trying to find something wrong with the day, but just ain't gonna happen.
No, I'd say out in California, you guys have so much stuff to do out there. It's just probably unbelievable what you can't do in one day.
Yeah, this place is pretty darn cool, man. There's don't get me wrong, there's a lot about it that is not, but some of the things that are cool for a personality like mine is I'm kind of a super active guy, and I like to, everything from surfing to snowboarding, and you can, in one day you can actually go up the mountains and snowboard and come down and get some surfing in the same day. So if you are so inclined, and it's just a lot of fun stuff to do all around, from just activities, man, from racing cars to riding to playing music and hanging out with a lot of great musicians in this town.
I would love to come out to California and do that, because there's a lot of unknown bands that are out there that are busting their ass every day, and they play every day pretty much out there.
Oh yeah, there's still a huge music scene out here. We do a bit of touring, so we only kind of loop back. For instance, we're playing a show here in Los Angeles towards the end of June here, and it's great. It's we're playing with our brother Society One, and I don't know, the Society One guy is Matt Zane. He is the guy who also directed our last music video, and you'll remember Matt Zane. He was the crazy lead singer that would put suspension hooks through his back and suspend himself over the crowd so he was singing.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, he's a madman. He's not doing that anymore, but he's a madman. So we're looking forward to playing with our brothers, and it's going to be a good show.
Let me ask you this before we get into Madlife and all about you guys. I just want to ask this. Since you are out in California and everything, is there a lot of places where bands can actually perform at? Because I've had some interviews where they said yes and no. It just depends on which area that you're at. Which area do you most think would be best for a band to start out there?
Look, I'm going to be straight with you here, because, Madlife is a Southern California band, and, we've gone through our cycles here. We've also gone through our cycles to success in different places. So when I talk about Southern California, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with it. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of places to play, but the problem with Southern California is you can be, you can go see Lincoln Park here at a theater that holds, 1,500 people and pay $10 to get in, right? They're one of the biggest rock bands on the planet, but they'll go play the Will Turn. And so you have this enormous amount of amazing music here that you kind of have to really push yourself through. And so there's a ton of places to play everywhere. Pretty much every city has anything from, a house of blues down to a little bar. Mm-hmm. And as, if you ever really look at Los Angeles, there's the greater Los Angeles area, but it just keeps going, man. It's an endless city pretty much for about a 3-hour drive in every direction. 3-hour drive at 70 miles an hour.
Right.
So, the physical name might change from Los Angeles to, Hamburg, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it. It just keeps going. And there are more than enough places to play. What's the problem here, and then it isn't a problem, it's the nature of what it is there's so many great bands here that are all starting to do stuff that you really, the people here, the market is oversaturated, and the people here are numb to it. Because again, you walk. Our joke is this: you're walking down the street one day and you look up, and the Rolling Stones are playing at the Troubadour, and you're like, no, man, I'm going to go home because it's Sunday night and I want to watch HBO. You just get numb to it. You're just like, oh, another great band. Oh, I'll catch him next time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll catch him next time, you know.
Yeah.
And so, whereas in a lot of times when we're in other places around the country, though it's more dispersed in regards to the amount of places you can play, I found that the people that are passionate about music are so much more intense. You know, the fans that come out and the people that love to rock out, and also the bands themselves.
Yeah, it's
are so much more passionate about what they're doing. And look, there's exceptions to the rules in every way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's just a generality that I've thought.
See, I'm in Kentucky, and we've got this little small spot. It's either you go to Ohio, you go to Tennessee, and that's it, or Indianapolis. That's it. I mean, and well, sometimes West Virginia they'll bring some bands in, but that's all you have. And these are pretty good long far drives for us here. And I wish that something would happen to where they would put something in Lexington or Louisville, you know, to bring a big festival in or something like that. I know they've got bars and stuff in Lexington and Louisville, but we need kind of something close here to Eastern Kentucky. And we get so much of a black eye here in Eastern Kentucky that people don't realize until they come here, then they see how much beautiful it is, how much there is to do here. It's like they leave and then they've got a different aspect on this location. So, yeah.
Right.
And I'm trying. I mean, I'm just a little internet DJ here, and I'm trying my best to get locals out and everybody just so they can say, hey, look, this was in Eastern Kentucky. We need to do something there. That's what I'm trying to do. So, anything.
No, I hear you, man. You know, you gotta put something together. You know, drag international, and it's pretty simple, man. I would say, especially when we're out and we're doing shows for somebody else or something, and then it'll be like, okay, we've got a couple days off. Well, I always try to fill those days with something. And they'd be like, oh, hey, you know, we're driving through, man, and, you know, it's a Wednesday. Hey, we'll stop. We'll play. And we love it, man. We set up. They got a little club, a little venue, and bar. We'll get our rock on. We'll hang out with everybody and drink a couple cold ones, and it's just a great time, man.
Yeah, we're trying. I'm trying to work on something, and it may be something next year or year after, but it will go down. I will tell you that right now. So.
No, that's cool. You know, don't ever hesitate to go small.
Yeah.
At first, man, you just get a couple small things, and I found that a lot of people, and especially a lot of the promoters that I run into that are trying to get in the game, and I respect this, but they've got amazingly high ideas of what they can pull off, and then once they get into it, they don't understand the logistics of it, and it's complex, man, that level of organization that it takes to put together that many bands and PA systems and all the different stuff, and it's nuts. So, you know, there's nothing like a small place that's already kind of got a situation that's easy for somebody to come in, and then all of a sudden it creates a foundation, and then the same project wants to come and keep back and doing business with the person and put it on because, well, you know, they did what they said, and they said what they meant, and it happened exactly the way it was supposed to go down, and you know, then all of a sudden it's a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and then there you go. Yeah. And, you know, Avalon Presents or something.
You're talking about PA and stuff. I mean, you got to give bands some amount of time to set up each band that comes on, and that takes some time to set up.
True. You know, there's different aspects to it. You know, different places have, you know, you have different stage hands and stage crew, and it depends if you're rolling with crew yourself. Man, there's 100 different variables. You know, we've got 3 levels of rig that we play with, we tour with, you know, our A, B, and C rigs. And they go down from the quick throw amps all the way, you know, if you're doing a quick, you got to get on, you got to get off, whatnot, down to our full production backline, which is all the, you know, encased gear with the scrims and the moving lights on, and, you know, and so that takes anywhere from minutes to quite a few minutes to put together.
Right. All right. So this band, Madlife, was founded in 2000 by yourself and Angry Phil. How did that come about, finding the other members, and who else is in the band with you guys?
Well, it started, right around 2000 somewhere. Geez, I can't even remember that far back anymore. There was a band I played in early 2000. I think it was 2000. Anyway, from 2000 to 2002 somewhere is when Madlife got formed, and we came out of what was left of another rock band called Merge in Los Angeles that I played in, and good rock band, not as heavy as Madlife, but a solid rock band. and they had a bit of popularity, and it ran its course. So the bass player, the drummer, and myself were like, heck, we want to keep going. And the other guitar player and the original singer left from Merge, and so we put an ad out. We're like, hey, man, this is kind of what we're looking to do. And Angry Phil answered that ad, and we came in, and the chemistry jived, and it was pretty much there. We started writing and recording almost immediately, and we put together stuff. And then through transitional changes, the original drummer and the original bass player left. We kind of went off and did their thing. The original drummer is in this cool, heavy band called Yidra in Los Angeles. Pretty cool. He's a great dude and a great drummer. And the original bass player, I don't know what he's doing now. So, and then we've kind of done transitional changes, and then we got Mr. Kyle, who's been playing drums with us now for about 5 years, and he is a fantastic guy from Austin, Texas. Great drummer, great man, and just a whole lot of fun. And then we have Mr. Carlos, who was the guitar player for Dronica.
Okay. And
he came in and was always had been into Madlife, and we needed a new bass player when we parted ways with our last man. And I'm like, hey, man. And he's like, oh, dude, I play bass, I play drums, I play guitar. He's a singer. It's like, wow, okay, what do you not do? So he came in, and the chemistry jived, and that was it.
And you guys are an industrial band. For people to understand what that is, can you give us a little bit of background on that?
Well, I would say we're kind of a electro pop rock industrial. When you say industrial to me, I think of bands like Ministry, okay, KMFDM, Skinny Puppy. Those are the founding fathers of industrial. Mm-hmm. And those were some basically heavy metal crashed into synthetic disco music. And they had an evil love child. And that's what industrial was. So we take a lot of that element. We take the electro element, the synthetics and the bounce, the disco beats. But we implement heavy music, and we also implement song structure. You could still pull any of our Madlife songs out and play them on acoustic guitar if you wanted to.
Now, this is your guys' fourth album that's coming out, 21st Century Megalomaniac?
Yeah, it is. 21st Century Megalomaniac, correct, our fourth disc.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to you guys on that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
A lot of bands, they just do, I don't know what it is, it's just the one album, and that's it. I just don't get it. I don't know if it's just the meshing with everybody, or if it was just too much pressure, or what it was.
It's chemistry, man. I'm telling you. I was talking with another guy once about this, and we were having a discussion about, what makes bands great. And it's not how great the musicians are in the band. It's the combination of them. Because, look, one of the greatest rock bands in history, AC/DC, mm-hmm. Okay? That's the reason I play guitar, man. I was like 10 years old, and I saw the Back in Black concert at 10, and I was like, that's it. My dad was cool enough to take me to see Back in Black. And that was it. And what, Angus Young? He's a solid guitar player. Mm-hmm. He's not great. He's not half as good as a tenth of the 15-year-old kids that are coming out today, right?
True.
But if you were to say technically as a player, but he is cooler than the freeziest cup of ice cream in the North Pole next to a penguin in an igloo. That's how cool he is. The combination of those guys in that band have made one of the greatest rock bands in history. Yeah. It's great songwriting, great chemistry personal between the guys. And that's just what it is.
All right, my question to you, and I always like asking this to AC/DC fans: Bon Scott or Brian Johnson? Which one?
Oh, okay. Okay, here it comes. You're on a desert island. You only get 5 albums. That's it. They got to be albums from an artist, too. They can't be compilation albums. You only get 5 albums. Now, obviously, one of them is going to be Back in Black, or one of them is going to be Highway to Hell. Uh-huh. So it comes down to the age-old argument: what's the better album, Highway to Hell or Back in Black? Just saying, and I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong. I'm just telling you right now, in our bus, hundreds of miles have passed of us driving down the road, us arguing about which one is better.
That's true musicians right there, folks. But you know what, though? I will say this. I will say this. AC/DC couldn't have found a better singer than Brian Johnson to take Bon Scott's place.
Chemistry, coolness.
Yeah.
You know, everything about everything, man. It's just a great band, man. You know, as a true and lifelong fan of AC/DC, and also them being one of the staples of my desire to play rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just great. I got nothing but good things to say about those guys, and I don't know them personally, but you know, a lot of people that I've played with have been, you know, fortunate enough to spend time with and play shows with those guys and tour, and nobody has said anything but amazing things about that band, their operation, and everything. They're just a class act, top to bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see them on tour. Hopefully, they'll do a reunion tour and come back out. Maybe, who knows?
I'm sorry. One more time, bro.
I said, unfortunately, I didn't get to see them on tour or anything, but hopefully, they could do a reunion tour maybe and come back out, and I get to see them.
Right.
Okay.
Here, hang on. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, man.
No, it's
damn
cool.
Cell phones, man. You know how it is.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand cell phones. Not even mine. You know, if I can pick the phone up and call somebody, I'm cool. But when people text me, I'm like, geez, really? You just text me to say, are you okay? I mean, come on.
You know, texting though, man, that drives me nuts too. It's like everybody's texting me, and I'm like, I'm all, wait. Do you really think I have this time to stop at what I'm doing and start texting you? I'm always doing something. I'm always active. I'm like, don't make me sit there and try to put my fingers on that little itty-bitty screen.
Yes.
Listening people, it should be an Olympic sport, people that can text. I'm telling you. You watch some girls sometimes, and they can go out and they can fire off like 100 words a minute on that little screen and text.
Yep.
And you're just like, what planet are you from? Seriously.
I agree.
Why don't you take that innate skill of typing ability and go be constructive somewhere? Unbelievable.
All right, so I got a chance to listen to your guys' new album and the 21st Century Megalomaniac, and I really dig it. It's a good album, and
thank you, man.
You know, to live and die in Hollywood's really great. Another one is Pain of Pleasure, I should say. That's an awesome song.
Thank you, man.
I mean, I like it. I've not took it out since I've got it. You know, you guys are doing really good.
I love to hear that. That's what I like you. It means we're doing something right.
Yeah. So what is different to this album than the other three that you would say?
You know, it's a natural progression, just like anything, man. You know, I don't care if you, we spend more time and into a lot more detail towards the electronics and the sonics of the loops and the intensity and the fullness of the tone of everything. Mm-hmm. Took longer, you know, really producing it and engineering it. You know, I'm a producer, and also we co-produce it with Evan Nine from Cage 9, and he also plays for Powerman 5000. And he's just a fantastic producer and a fantastic songwriter, and just a overall, you know, great engineer and great ear, man. And you know, when we went to Evan, we're like, look, you know, we're doing these songs, and we're gonna put this EP together, and we just really want to really expand our guitar tones, we want to expand our loops. And I came in there with the level of the songs much farther along than I normally do to him. Mm-hmm. And we all just really spent that extra time tweaking with it. Same thing, man. I don't care if you're a baseball player or a hockey guy or you're weaving baskets. You know, eventually you do it and you get better, and then you do next generation, you get a little bit better at it, and the next generation you get a little bit better at it. You know, just like anything, man.
I'll definitely be playing it here on Uber City Radio and BODS Mayhem Hour, that's for sure.
Oh.
So, 2009, you guys played the Rockstar Energy Mayhem Festival. Let's talk about that a little bit. How was that for you guys?
Which festival again?
2009 Rockstar Energy Mayhem Festival.
Oh, the Mayhem Festival. Yeah, Mayhem was fun, except it was HAF, and that's hot as, and you can put in the last word. Summertime festival tours are great, but, you know, man, when you playing, it is hot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, but, you know, you definitely get off stage and you're attacking a bottle of Gatorade like it was the first thing that you'd ever had in your life. It was so good. And a lot of fun, though, man. I really love the Mayhem stuff. Oh, God, who did we play with that year? Oh, it was Slayer that year, wasn't it?
Let me check and see.
Yeah.
I can edit all this out, so it don't matter. Let me go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think it was Slayer. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we had to win over Slayer fans. Yeah. Not an easy task.
No.
We did it.
That's awesome.
But winning over Slayer fans is an event unto itself.
That is very true. That is very true.
So do you know, they liked it, though, by the end of it. People's arms were in the air, and people were shouting the words. And, you know, it's always the same. When you open up for a great band, and people come out and they see it, you know, most of the time they know maybe one, and if you're lucky, two songs that you play. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you're flowing down for half an hour, right? So you're probably playing, I don't know, 6 or 7 songs, and, you know, 4 or 5 of them nobody has the slightest idea about. So not only do they not know your song, you gotta win them over, man. They're there to see somebody else, really, a lot when you're the opening band, and you know, you gotta bring it. You have to bring it to a new level, and you gotta, you know, win the respect of another great band's audience, and then you have to win the respect of that band that you're opening up for.
Mm-hmm. Especially with a band like Slayer, I mean, if you got the fans liking your all's music by the end of your set, yeah, you're doing something right. That's for sure. Yeah,
well, you know, in our defense, they were kind of diluted by Manson fans. I think Manson was playing on that bill too. So Manson fans for us are clearly a little easier to win over with our electro side.
Yeah.
But you know, the guys at the Slayer shirts were all pretty cool. You know, we let you go out and hang out with everybody afterwards and really socialize. So we go spend a bunch of time just kind of cruising around the crowds and drinking beers and just talking with all the great people. And you know, people are cool, man. Slayer fans are the bomb. I mean, they might get a bad rap sometimes because, well, they're Slayer fans, and then they're maniacs. They're kind of like Philadelphia sports fans, you know, of music. And but they're awesome, man. You know what I mean? And as long as you bring it and you're real and you bring real heart to the stage, you'll win people's respect.
Yeah, people know when you're actually putting your heart and soul onto it on stage. I mean, we know.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if, you know, from me when I go, I see so many bands myself, you know, I go and you know, it's the first thing you notice. Man, I don't care if it's a country artist or some pop guy or, you know, or whoever, right? When somebody's being legit, then they're, you know it, period, you know?
You know, I think it sucks, too. We're talking about Slayer that, you know, the music world here, especially for us heavy metal fans and stuff, we lost Jeff Hanneman.
Slayer, that was a tough blow.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, hope he's in a better place, and, you know, hope all is well. And like I said, it just sucks, you know.
We were talking about it, and you know what? Right now, him and Dimebag are throwing down right now on a jam band up there. The most ripping jam band. Are you kidding? They're up there. I mean, just choose your superstar jam band going on in heaven right now, and that's what's going on. Just know that those guys are throwing back shots and just blazing some great riffs and having an amazing time.
Yeah, and Ray, I hope I say this last name right, Ray Mazarnak's with them too from the Doors, so, you know, it's all good.
Exactly. He's probably sitting there and probably going, you guys are some crazy cats, man. Yeah, all right, yeah. Well, okay, why don't you slow down a little bit, man? You know, I don't know about this double note. What's this 2-kick drum thing? You know? You know what's going on. Just, you know it. I try to look at it like that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, those are, all those, it was tough. I didn't know the man personally, but a lot of my friends did, and everybody was a little torn up by it. But I always try to put a good look on it, and then I know everybody's up there throwing down right now, like I said, in the great rock band in heaven up there. Everybody's throwing down. It's a good time.
That's for sure. Isaiah, now you said that you play the festivals, but like you said, it is really hot during the summer times when these festivals are going on. Do you guys prefer festivals? Do you guys prefer? I mean, what do you guys prefer to play? Does it matter?
Yeah, I pretty much like it all, man. I love the festivals because they're festival oriented, right? They're so vibrant. You're cruising around and you're checking stuff out, and there's all kinds of different people, and they're doing all kinds of fun stuff. I mean, concerts that are, in inside halls and theaters and venues or clubs, they're fun too, but they're very much what they are, right? They're kind of consolidated to what's going on internally, and sorry, man. Sorry, I got distracted here. I'm driving around this guy. The aspect of what's, I don't know, they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
I also like, personally, once in a while, man, I really like the small clubs once in a while because it's just so tight and close right there, man. And like people are pushed right up there. They're right against the side of the stage, and people are really, they're reaching out and you're like, hey, don't touch my pedal board, and that's just fun and exciting to me still. I like being right there.
Who were some of your influences in music? So coming up.
Jeez, well, the standards. We've got the. Obviously the old school guys back in the day, like I was talking about, Angus Young and all the rock bands from the era, all that original rock bands. And then it kind of transitioned into, a lot of this, Reznor, Nine Inch Nails was a big influence of mine.
Uh-huh.
And, geez, I'm just trying to think of some other, like, individual guitar players. I'm a weird cat when it comes to that, man. Like, I pretty much take a little bit of something from everybody. But back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but when you were into rock music, you were into rock music. So you didn't like other stuff. It wasn't allowed. So you would go and, like, for instance, Depeche Mode of all bands. You couldn't like Depeche Mode if you were into rock music, because that just wasn't cool. And as I got older, I really started listening to, like, some of these guys' music and going, okay, well, it's kind of mellow, right? But they really have really unique sonics and song structures. I'm like, okay, these guys can sell out coliseums around the world. What's going on, right? What are they doing? Mm-hmm. So I started studying guys like that really have a unique sound. And then, and then you find you're able to pull something from everybody. You know what I mean? From a band like that, all the way down to Nine Inch Nails, all the way to, some folk singer.
Now, with those influences and everything like that, that's, yeah. And you mentioned Reznor. I think they're getting ready to come out with a new album, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, aren't they? Are they actually going to come out on an actual... Who are they releasing?
I don't know.
Who are they releasing the album on? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I had seen where they had been talking about they were coming out with a new album. So, it's been a long time since they have put out anything from Nine Inch Nails.
Jeez. I can't even remember last time Nine Inch Nails put out an album.
I was back in high school.
Cool stuff, though, man. Again, great influences from those era bands, but also having new bands, too, man.
Yeah.
You listen to some great songwriting, like, modern bands, Avenged Sevenfold and Linkin Park and all these bands that have been around for, 10 or 15 years at the most, and they really, some of these bands just really amazing songwriters and really, really put together really good structural movements in music.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some talented individuals out there nowadays.
Isaiah, does everybody in the band contribute to writing the songs, or is it just you only?
Yeah, we basically, the song structures start, being a synthetic band, we start with everything on Pro Tools, and we start with either creating loop structures and then playing drums to them, or we create a lot of times I'll just lay down kick patterns, and then we will or lay down a click track, and then I'll ask Kyle to lay down a bunch of different drum ideas. So he'll throw down a bunch of drum stuff, and then we'll literally start structuring songs. You basically build it. You start constructing things. Going, let's try this beat with this beat with this beat with this beat, and then we'll groove with this bass riff, and then we'll do this. And it starts like that, but then everybody starts kicking in, man. There's no real one guy does this, and that's the only thing they're allowed to do. Phil writes all the lyrics, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once in a while he'll put together something and go, oh, hey, why don't you try saying this or something like that. But that's the one thing that's pretty constant. But they basically put together a structure of music, a basic idea, a verse-chorus situation, and then Phil will lay down some scratch ideas on it. So then you've got the basic construct of the song. Then you start pulling out and go, okay, well, I kind of like this section, I like this. Let's start moving this around. And then you just start rewriting everything until you basically created this giant scratch track. This scratched song in Pro Tools is how we do it. And then we listen to it and go, that's pretty good. And so after you have it all done there, then it's like you go back and you learn your own song that you've created, and then we play it through. And then that's how we actually recorded it.
Okay, cool.
It's different. It's just our technique of writing, everybody does it different. Some guys sit in a room and the acoustic guitar and strum away until it makes sense. Other guys build it in Pro Tools.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people that's using Pro Tools now, and they're getting away from labels and things like that, and they're doing it themselves and putting stuff out. Do you find it easier to do it yourself or be with a label? I mean, have you ever...
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the deal. It's an interesting situation because the music industry has changed so radically, and it's actually, ironically, it resembles how it was back in the 60s. According to, there's this old record executive that was chatting us up one day, an old Capitol Records guy, and he was telling us about how much the music industry today resembles it back in that era. And we're like, really? We're like, clue us in. And he goes, well, back in the original times, people, though they would create an album, it was primarily based in singles. Remember, everybody was buying those records, the little ones, the 45s and the whatever. I forgot the other ones. And the bands would tour in groups. And so you would have all these bands from the 50s and 60s that would kind of come together, and they would all get out and play like 30-minute sets. But they would travel like, 5 or 7 of them deep, right? 5 or 7 artists deep. And they would put together all these different projects. And then it kind of switched, and then we got into the 70s and then the 80s and the 90s, where it was primarily back to like one big giant rock band. There was the AC/DC, so because we keep talking about them, and then they would have an opening act, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe 2 if you're lucky. So it was a single event where you went to see AC/DC with an opening band. And now the situation has gone where it's redistributed back because there's no monopoly by the music industry anymore. The bands themselves are reliant on touring again, and then they start collectives again. That's why you see all these concert tours. You've got the Mayhem Festival. You've got the Ozfest, and a myriad of other different ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all those are is essentially exactly what they were doing back in the day, 40, 50 years ago, when the bands would group together and they would work with each other to create these giant tours, and they were distributing singles again. Most people buy their music today on iTunes or digitally, I mean, I buy maybe 2 CDs a year, if that. Everything else is digital. Jump on my account, download what I want.
That's what I actually
scan
do.
through it, and so...
That's what I do. Amazon.com is where I get a lot of my stuff at.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year I bought 3 or 4 hard copies. And I think that the digitally helps out the bands a lot more. I think it does. That's just me.
Totally. I mean, well, look, there's no more music sales anymore. I mean, how it basically went down is that the for people out there in the radio world, so you can have a general understanding of how it was 10 years ago. A record label would sign a band, okay, and then they would, for the most part, keep all the CD sales, okay? So if the CD sold for, what was it back in the day, $14 or something like that, I can't remember, it was something like that, 10 to 15 bucks, right? The record label, for the most part, kept all that money, okay? They didn't give you any CD sales, but they gave you everything else, and that was, they would give you the mechanicals, and that would be like when your song gets played on the radio. Every time, you get you get paid. Mm-hmm. And when your song would get used in a movie or something like that, you would get paid. Your big money was your T-shirts, right? You make all your money on your T-shirts, right, and things like that. And clearly, those were enormous sums of money because, you look back at all the rock bands, you look at, Pearl Jam and whatnot, right? I mean, those guys were giant. They made bazillions of dollars. So it was a strange yet symbiotic relationship, right? Record label provided all the money, they kept the money on this, you build the money on that, everybody were happy campers as long as you were selling. Mm-hmm. So when all of a sudden people didn't sell albums anymore, the companies, their revenue streams stopped. And they went, whoa, hey now we've got to get back to, they're like, well, we got to figure out how to get money. And the only piece of the pie left was the pie that the musicians were getting, which was, all the other sections. So now, when musicians are entering into deals with labels and stuff, they're signing what's called 360 deals. Hence, 360 degrees of the pie, right? They're taking a little piece of all of it now, instead of just taking the album sales section, which was theirs. Right. So, it's become reduced in its value to be with labels, even though they're still highly necessary in a lot of ways, but not as critical. Mm-hmm. Because, I can create something in Pro Tools, we can mix it, we can master it, and we can have it out, and it can have worldwide distribution digitally in 36 hours. So, it's a different world, man.
Yeah, I've been talking to several bands, and they said that digitally it's better for them doing it that way. And I've seen a lot of the hard copies. You can't hardly find hard copies anymore.
True. Physical copies is kind of a thing of the past. It's still fun to still have the CD. You look at the cover, you open it up, you're looking at the pictures of the guys. But everything that you see right there is all digital. It's just a changing world. I don't have an answer for it. I kind of accept what it is, and I work within the boundaries and the rules of the game that's presented to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. What can fans expect at a Madlife show from you guys?
Intensity. We like to bring it. We are very intense. Our live show, more than a lot, we have been told that our live performance is where it is, and that though our album conveys well, and our music recorded conveys well, to see it live is a completely different experience.
I hope to get to see you guys out sometime, and hopefully get to chat with you in person, all you guys.
Absolutely. I hope you can come out, man. Let us know, and reach out to us, and then when we're driving through on tour in Kentucky, maybe you have a little something, and we'll come down and do a pickup show and have a good time.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, I'd appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. That really does. Not many bands, do stuff like that anymore, but that's cool you guys did. That's awesome. I'll keep that in mind, too. Now, you guys are, let's see, today's the 31st, so June you guys are on tour, correct? You guys are going to do a show in California?
Yeah, well, we're not on tour. We're just, I think we might go up and do a Pacific Northwest tour here in a couple months. We'll have to kind of see, because the album just dropped, and so we're kind of just setting it up. We might be doing a little bit of a larger tour here in early fall. Can't talk about it yet because it's not confirmed.
Right.
And yeah, these are just, again, the one we were just playing here, these are just, our brothers in society one called up and said, yo, we're playing the show, come play. And we're like, heck yeah, we're playing with you. So.
That's awesome. How can people reach out to you guys if they want to buy your merch or new CDs? How can they do that?
Well, they should go merch and CDs. Always the best for us is to go directly to our website, which is madlifemusic.com or madlifeofficial.com. They both route to the same site. And we are pretty much everywhere that you'd want to be. We are on everything from every digital distribution that you can imagine, from iTunes to Rhapsody to freaking Little Orphan Annie's jukebox in the corner playing old 45s. I'm sure we're on it somewhere. And you got it, man. You know, they can find us anywhere. I'm going all the other normal places, the Facebooks and the Twitters and Reverb Nation, pretty much everything. It's a digital world, and we're digitally everywhere.
Tell you what, everybody, go pick up 21st Century
Megalomaniac.
Yeah, Megalomaniac, and tell them that BODS Mayhem Hour sent you. And if you get a chance to meet these guys at a concert, whatever, hey, go up and talk to them. Really, really cool guys. I tell you what, man, like I said before, we're going to be playing your guys' stuff here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. We're going to do what we can for you guys. Anything that you all ever need, please reach out to me.
Oh, man, I greatly appreciate it, man. It means the world to us that you're still in the track, man. It's just, seriously, much love, man.
Thanks.
Much love.
Appreciate it, brother. Hey, before I let you go, you care to do a promo for the show?
Absolutely, man. Whatever you need me to say. All right. What up, people? This is Isaiah from Madlife, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey, anytime, brother. Thank you so much for having us on, man.
No problem. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this interview. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who's out in the chat room and out there listening on the internet, on your iPad, iPod, whatever. We do appreciate it. And also, too, stick around. We're going to be listening to some Madlife here on BODS Mayhem Hour. And you only hear these interviews right here on Uber City Radio and BODS Mayhem Hour. Thanks, guys.